So all of us have bought a vehicle at some point in time. And I remember my first car. I was 19 years old. It was a Toyota Scion XB, right when the XB was like the hot new thing. And I remember walking into the dealership, and the price tag on the car was like $15,000 or something insanely inexpensive like that. And I didn't know anything about buying a car, so to me, I've got this price tag in my head of $15,000. And they're like, well, do you want to put a sound system in the car? That's an extra $2,000. And I worked at the YMCA for minimum wage. That wasn't happening. So I'm like, no. Do you want the warranty? No. And the whole time, this $15,000 price tag, they're attempting to change and make it a little bit bigger. And where they did get me was on floor mats. Apparently floor mats aren't a stock option in a Toyota Scion. So I ended up getting out of there for the $15,000 plus doormats and sales tax. I think we see this type of issue in a lot of industries, but in particular in the pet industry. So, when you walk in and see that lizard for $3.99, what is the true cost of that lizard? So today on TDI Live, we're going to be talking about what's new in the world of tie-dye, a record-breaking alligator, some reptile myths, such as reptiles are expensive or inexpensive pets, and then Bill's got an all-new hot conspiracy for us, followed by a game. So I'm Matt.
I'm Bill.
I'm Heather.
And you're listening to TDI Live. Alright, so what's new in the world of tie-dyed iguana? We just got back from the Show Me Snakes Reptile Show in Bridgeton, Missouri. I have no idea what the heck happened out there. It was pure pandemonium. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. We were 10 a.m. hit when the show started, and it was pouring down rain, and not a soul was in there. And I'm like, great, it's going to be one of these shows. At about 10:20, I think all of St. Louis came into the show, and about 2:30 they all left. So ended up being our second busiest reptile show of all time. So very busy. We're headed to Springfield, Missouri next week. Actually, we've got a couple things. Next Tuesday, we're headed to Nashville, Tennessee for a buying show. And then next weekend, Eric and I are headed to Springfield, Missouri for a show. And then the week after that, currently it's just myself. I'm headed to Ohio for 3 days for a buying show for our plants. And the fabled tortoise pen that hasn't been built yet, picked up the cinder block yesterday. So it's all in the back, and it's too heavy for the pallet jack. So now we have a very heavy pallet of cinder block that needs moved. So, what's new in the world of reptiles? Heather, why don't you tell us what happened?
All right, so this guy in Georgia, they open their hunting season for alligators every year around this time, and he actually broke the state's record for the largest alligator. He caught a 14-foot alligator that weighs 700 pounds. So that is the big story, and the guy plans, of course they harvest it for meat. And now he's planning on getting it taxidermied, and he's gonna make it a big trophy.
Oh, that's gonna be stupid expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how they would preserve a body like that, something that big.
Yeah, I did taxidermy when I was younger, but basically you just skin the animal, you pull all the bones and flesh out, and there's a lot of animals, mainly like deer and elk and stuff like that they have pre-made. Basically, it's like a foam mold, and you just stretch the skin over it, and you just sew it up. And I'm sure they can do that with alligators.
Do you think they have a foam mold of a 14-foot alligator?
No. They'll have to build it, and that'll be expensive.
They'll probably charge them a molding fee.
Yeah, and then they have wires in there and stuff for the legs and stuff like that.
So, have you ever seen Hook? I know you've seen Hook.
Yes.
Remember the big gator?
Yes, at the end, the big alligator.
Yeah. How big do you think that was? I mean, that's obviously exaggerated.
Oh, jeez. That was probably
huge.
20, 30 feet tall.
I've only had one instance where I've ever had to mess with a croc, and I was scared. I know Bill remembers it. And it was a little guy.
It was a Nile crocodile.
Yeah, what was it, 2 foot?
About 3.
3 foot?
Yeah.
I was so scared. They let it go in the water, and they're like, catch it.
Just grab it.
And I'd never done that before, and I'm in there in my sandals waiting
I thought
around.
it was funny.
Like it's going to bite my toes.
I was like, I'm just going to reach in there and grab it because he's not going to do it. Oh, it moved. Oh, it moved.
Oh, man. Yep, that's my experience with a gator. You probably have a lot more, Bill, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So, cool. So, yeah, that's kind of the news going on in the world right now. Big-ass alligator caught in Georgia because it's open season on gators, and I guess we're lucky we don't have that problem around here. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
gators aren't really a
it's
thing.
their form of population control, kind of like we have a
For the
population
deer.
control for the deer here.
Do they have
Yeah.
open season on gators in Florida? Or is...
I'm
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do, but
not
Because
iguanas.
they were endangered at one time, and then this is just the result of them protecting them and them coming back in population. And now that there's enough in the population to sustain it, then they start doing the harvesting. They
Yeah.
do that with like deer around here. Most of the natural predators have been eliminated, so they have to take out the deer.
Maybe we
Otherwise,
need to
they
do that with
just
humans.
they'll starve to death, or they'll get that
no.
wasting disease.
Well, they say we're going to overpopulate the planet. You think it'll ever be open season on people?
No.
I think it already is. in some
No,
places.
no Hunger
No.
Games. No.
It's already that way in some places. Around the
All right,
world.
so let's talk about reptiles being expensive as pets. I know this is an issue that we see a lot in the store. I'm going to use a green anole as an example. We sell green anoles for what, $6.99, $7.99,
Yeah.
$8.99, I don't know, something like that. And a lot of times people will come in and they're looking for a cheap pet, and so naturally they go right to something like a green anole or a house gecko. But the anoles in particular, because they're diurnal, so they're out during the day and people see them and want to do something with them. Problem with an anole is being a diurnal species, they require the UVB, they require a basking spot, they need calcium, etc. I would say an average anole setup runs like $140, $100 to $140 to like do it right, and that blows a lot of people away, because they don't want to spend that much money. And we see something similar with tortoises. This one always cracks me up. People will come in and they'll see our tortoises, and then they'll say, "Well, where's your regular tortoises?" Have you heard them say that?
No, I don't.
So-
I don't do sales. There's a reason why I don't do sales.
Yeah.
You know why the reason is?
What's the
Because
reason? I
I
don't
have
do sales
zero
anymore.
tolerance for stupidity, and I will call somebody out on it in a second.
Yeah, it's
And you would lose more customers if I did sales.
yeah, it's a fine line. So the tortoise one, when people do that, they're like, "Well, where are your regular tortoises?" And I'm like, and I know exactly what they mean. What they're trying to say is, "Where's your cheap tortoises?"
Yeah.
But I like to kind of play the game, and I'm like, "What do you mean regular tortoises? This is a Russian tortoise. This is a pretty common tortoise." And they're like, "No, your regular tortoises." And I'm like, "You mean the cheap tortoises?" And they're like, "Yeah, like the ones you find outside."
Not
And,
around here.
Yeah, and it's just, that's hard to get people to wrap their head around too, because they judge the value of the animal based on what they paid for it. So
Yeah.
when they find a quote-unquote free animal or a wild animal, they just assume that it doesn't require any specialized care, and they can, do like we did when we were kids, put it in a box.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you did too? I'm sure when you were a kid, like mine was, I caught a turtle in Florida, aquatic turtle, kept it in a box on
Yeah.
land, aquatic turtle, and didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I
You had to do something crazy back in the 30s when you were like 30?
yeah.
So mean.
No, I've had
Crazy.
I've had
care.
all kinds of different animals. My
Was there
parents
anything
were
you did
cool.
totally stupid though? Like before you knew what you were doing?
I'm trying to think.
Bill doesn't do stupid things. What about you, Heather? I
The
know
only
this.
thing I can think of is I bought it was about a 3-foot gold tegu, and that thing was pure evil. And I had it, I had it in a decent sized cage and stuff. But that thing, I used to feed it like garter snakes, and I would throw like 5 or 6 mice in there at once, and they would grab them and shake them, and there'd be blood all over the cage, and
Just kill them for fun.
then they'd go back and eat them and that. But
It was our tegus that used to play tug of war, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had entrails all over
they
the
would
Oh,
they
yeah.
would pull them apart.
They would rip a mouse
Yeah.
in half, and it was gory.
So the reptiles as expensive pets or inexpensive pets. I know we recently had we had some feedback on Google about that. Wasn't it Google? I think a Google review. And someone was kind of blown away by the fact that it cost X amount of dollars to keep a reptile. And I had to really bite my tongue on that one, because it was like, well, how do I respond to this person? And what I just tell people, it's like, hey, the word exotic, you say exotic car, you're not going to buy an exotic car for $30,000.
Yeah.
You might be able to buy an exotic dancer for pretty inexpensive.
I know a place where you can get them pretty cheap.
Oh,
I used to work there.
Okay, Bill.
I remember visiting you there. I took Alan there for his birthday.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't get into the details of that one.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was deep in the hood. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so reptiles are not, they're not necessarily overly expensive pets, but they are definitely not cheap pets. They have specialized care, and the care is so unique across to every single animal. I mean, there's not like a general care. You know, it's just because there's a certain type of light bulb on one animal doesn't mean that the animal right next to it needs that same type of light bulb. So.
And it's kind of funny, too. It seems like some of the cheaper stuff is this more expensive stuff to set up.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
So what, like anoles are one of them.
Aquatic turtles.
Yeah.
That's another one because
bad.
you have to over-filter them. You got to do water changes all the time. It's just, because they eat and poop in the water. And we had aquatic turtles for a little while, but man,
We had them for years, actually.
Yeah, we did, and you had to do water changes like once a week.
Bill did. He was always angry.
yeah, because
Like
we
we did
had
the fish
They
like
get so dirty and messy.
we had this
big job.
Was it the snake neck turtles?
I think that was the last of them when we got out of
Yeah,
those.
and then you had like the red ears.
The red ears, Bertha. I remember.
And red ears were they were such a pain to sell. Nobody wanted to sell them because it was a fight. Every single time we went to sell one, people were just like, they didn't want to spend a penny.
No, they just wanted the
They're
turtle.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
They just wanted to come in, buy the $13 turtle, and they couldn't wrap their head around why it cost $200 to set up this turtle.
Yeah.
And it was so much stress on the staff. That's why we quit selling them, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this to the staff.
Well, you never really made that much money on them anyway.
No, it was a
Occasionally
loss.
somebody would set up, the correct
It was rare, though.
setup in that. They'd buy the Waterland tubs or something like that and do it that way. But that was, you could probably count on one hand how many people actually did that.
Even just getting people to put like the right lighting on them.
Yeah.
They were like, "Whoa, I didn't do that when I was a kid," and I'm like,
Yeah.
I like the asbestos example. Well, you put asbestos in your house when you were a kid too. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
we're still doing it.
Oh man, that would be a whole nother topic just on that subject alone. Yeah.
That was the way it
So-
was when I was young.
Yeah.
In the 70s, they were disposable. You bought something, if it
Oh,
died,
they're
you
talking about
just.
asbestos.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the reptiles.
Bill's toothbrush was made of asbestos back then.
But yeah, it's if something died, you just went out and bought another one.
Well, not at Tye-Dye.
No.
So we're a
well,
little
this
different.
is
Yeah.
80 years later.
So Bill, let's get conspiracies. I've got written down here FEMA.
Yeah. Well, I was
Tell me
looking
about
for
FEMA.
stuff, but a lot of the stuff that
Your conspiracies are
Found-
very controversial, and we got to be careful with that.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. The stuff that I have been getting most of my information from the sources that I look at is pretty dark. So it's like, nah, I just.
So what's your problem with FEMA? Or maybe not problem. What's your concern with FEMA?
Well, for one, it's a government organization.
So it must be bad.
But anyway, I mean,
Must
like
be evil.
the conspiracy theory is that if we ever have like a severe natural disaster or unrest, where they have to claim, they put martial law into effect. They're talking like they're just going to round up these people, and they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to put you in this FEMA camp, and we'll feed you and give you water and all this other stuff." And basically, it ends up being like a concentration camp. And a lot of people are
That's a little extreme, man. Concentration.
Yeah,
camp.
and a lot of people are anti FEMA, and I've known some people that were in FEMA, and they never said anything like that. But honestly, I've heard like a lot of the Walmarts, the Walmarts that have been abandoned, that they were going to set those up as FEMA camps. And
So what would be the advantage to them setting up, setting up
just
basic-
population control.
So see, open season. That's all we need.
Pretty
if you have
much.
open season on people,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't need FEMA. And we could
And then
save
you-
tax dollars.
And then
And the stock market would rise because we would sell more ammunition in caskets.
So morbid.
well, no, you wouldn't be able to take your firearms in a FEMA camp.
Well, I didn't mean take them into the FEMA. Forget it.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I'm saying you pretty much.
So you feel like
Go
FEMA is a
in-
tool to control population? In
Yeah,
essence?
it's to basically keep looters down. I would say to keep crime down.
Well, that's not
to
population
where
control.
You go in there with the clothes on your back and that's it.
Yeah.
You have nothing when you go in there, And
Well, most of
just
these
like
people-
some of the stories that I've heard, and there's stories that it can get pretty nefarious in that. Because they don't tell you, the truth. They sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, the government's going to take care of you. They're going to feed you and they're going to water you, just like a reptile at your house in a cage."
Oh, geez. All right. So no FEMA for you, huh? So
No.
if there's a EF5 tornado in St. Louis, and St. Louis is leveled, and they set up a FEMA camp, where are you going to go?
I'm going the opposite way.
Yeah, away from the FEMA camp.
Yeah,
To
or like
Bill's
if
camp.
San Andreas, just goes off and that big chunk of California just slips into the sea, and there'll be civil unrest, pretty much on the West Coast.
What's
Yeah.
left of it, at least.
Yeah,
You think it'll sink into the ocean?
I don't know.
You think it'll float away?
There's a YouTube channel that I watch, and he does like earthquake reports and stuff, and his channel is called Dutch Sense, and he does like earthquakes around the world, and he I wouldn't say he predicts them like within
Using his
like
earthquake
10 days.
predictiometer?
Well, he uses like different
Dowsing
geological websites that show the earthquakes, if they're deep earthquakes or shallow earthquakes, and
rods? Does he use Siri?
I don't know.
Alexa?
But he can kind of predict like with where a deep earthquake goes, and then he's got they got this map of the world where they show where the earthquakes are, and it's amazing how many earthquakes go off, every day. And
Yeah, they're small, though, so no one feels them.
yeah, most of them are anywhere from like 1 magnitude to 6, and every now and then you'll get a big one, and then it shows volcanoes too, because when a volcano goes off, it triggers the size.
We call this a Bill
graphic.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yep.
But his channel is very, very interesting.
All right, so Heather, you got a game for us.
Yes, I do. We're going to play the favorites game again. I think some of these will generate some, hopefully some good memories.
Okay.
So we're going to start with, I think September is the official start of the Halloween season, in my opinion anyway. So I'm going to ask you guys, what's your favorite Halloween costume you've ever worn?
Ooh, ever? Well, Bill, you've got like 110 years worth of Halloween costumes.
Yeah. I did a Grim Reaper once. When I used to work at the factory, I went to a buddy's house for Halloween party, and I had like
Down the rabbit hole.
original
Yep,
Tye,
here we go.
Original Tye, and I had the cloak and made up my face and stuff like that.
I don't know what my favorite is, but I wore Gumby for a few years, and I even got in a fight in my
Yeah,
Gumby costume.
it's where you
once.
get the beer bottle bounced off your face.
Right off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would kind of have to rank up there because, fighting. It was just great fighting in a Gumby
You
costume.
should tell them what you got this year.
Oh, I don't know if I should reveal it.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise. I can't reveal it yet because when people see it on the street, I don't want them to know. Who it is.
Yeah.
It's to hide my identity.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're way too old to be collecting candy.
Yeah, I never said I collect candy.
Yeah.
No.
All right, what's your next one?
You
All
take
right.
it from your children.
Okay, what is the favorite vacation you've ever taken?
Bill's never been on vacation.
I haven't been on vacation in quite a while, but I know when I was younger, we used to rent a cabin up in northern Wisconsin for 2 weeks and fish on the lakes and stuff. That was probably the best vacations that I ever took.
Man, my favorite vacation. Stephanie and I and the kids don't really get out much. We do like Disney and the beach over and over and over. It's probably one of the many Disney trips we've taken. Just recently, I did Disney by myself. That was super cool. So I'd have to go with that.
Okay. All right, what's your favorite childhood cartoon?
Ren and Stimpy.
Fat Albert.
I knew we were gonna have
That
like
or
two
Speed
different.
Racer.
Knew we were gonna have two different generations
Oh, yeah.
of
Yeah,
cartoons.
Fat Albert or Speed Racer.
So.
The originals.
All right, now the last one is now this might be hard. What's your favorite memory from the whole 13 years that TDI has been open?
Oh man. Whew, he caught me off guard with that one.
Read that
Yep.
again?
Favorite memory of TDI since we've been open. And you've been here since the beginning, Bill.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's quite a few, actually.
that man, to pick one memory. I don't know if I could tell you my favorite memory. I could tell you a memory that sticks with me, and it was about 30 days into Tye-Dyed Iguana. So we opened April 1st, 2006, and I remember roughly 30 days in, sitting at the front desk, and I had the realization of, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like, I realized I will never again, at least at that point, how I was feeling, I was like, I'm never again going to have a family vacation. I mean, I work every single day, open to close.
Oh, you guys were here like
I was working
constantly,
like 100 and
9
something
to
hours a
9
week back then. It was terrible.
for
So
even later than that.
that's not a favorite memory, but that memory sticks with me. And anytime I talk to people all the time, I just talked to someone at the Reptile show this last week that wanted to open a pet store. And I think people think I'm biased because I'm like, dude, don't do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, sure, that's easy for you to say. And it's like, no, man, I've been there. Like, we're very lucky right now where we are and the way it's evolved. But, dude, I mean, up until really like 4 or 5 years ago.
I was going
really
to say
hard.
it until I was about ready to say the same thing. 4 or
But
5
favorite
years.
memory, you don't want to know negative memory. Do you have a favorite memory?
I would have to say probably one of the Lizard Man when he came here for your anniversary.
I can't give the details, but that first year you were working here, we had an all-day celebration once.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do remember that.
That was awesome. Yeah, Lizard Man.
Yeah,
was
that's
cool.
when I was still married to my second wife and not too much longer after that.
What's your favorite memory, Heather? You've been here since 2009.
I'd have to say the surprise birthday party that you guys held for me. The Harry Potter themed birthday party. I was completely surprised.
Yeah, that was
So
awesome.
Yeah, no,
that was like the best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
You was crying with joy and messed up your contact.
Oh yeah, I like cried because I was like so touched. It was so nice.
Women do that.
Oh man, these 13 years have been a wild ride, and I wish I could give you a better favorite memory, but there's just too many. I mean,
Yeah, I'm the
Veruna
same
was
way.
wild. I mean, that was a wild 2-year memory. That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I kind of enjoyed the first reality show filming.
with Andy. And all
Yes,
that,
I kind of like that one a little better. And the second one, we got more into it.
You're talking about the second one with Scaled with Prema, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the first one I liked, but the second one we did way more.
People that are hearing this are wondering what we're talking about.
That's when we
Yeah.
did the Eastern Diamondback in the ball pit.
In Missouri, of course.
Yes,
Yes,
of course.
For those
yes,
of you
in
listening.
And then
Missouri.
the
I don't
Nile
think any
crocodile.
Illinois DNR are getting a hard on for this.
And then the Nile crocodile, which that was in Missouri as well.
Yeah. It was all, I think everything was in Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that was weird. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
Sure.
So, thank you everybody for listening. This is episode 6 of TDI Live. We're recording every Wednesday, and it gets posted everywhere on Thursday. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, and Google Play. I don't think I've missed any. So make sure you search for TDI Live.
And the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, and it posts automatically to YouTube. And if you're on Facebook as we're recording this, you're watching this live because we're doing a live feed of us recording the podcast.
Yep.
So I'm Matt,
And I'm Bill.
I'm Heather.
and you're listening to TDI Live. Thank you for listening to Tye-Dyed Iguana's podcast, TDI Live. And don't forget to visit us on the web at www.thetdi.com.